Someone who owes you an apology is being tormented in silence. The weight of your name is chasing their peace. Archangel Michael says, "You were never meant to carry the burden of someone else's silence, yet it tried to bury you. The one who wronged you walks with a trembling shadow, haunted by the echo of your name. They smile in daylight, but the night breaks them with the truth of what they did. The apology they withheld has now become their chain. Their peace has vanished into thin air, replaced by sleepless nights and invisible grief. Every breath they take reminds them of the day they stayed quiet while your soul cried for justice. They thought time would erase what they did. But time has only deepened the grooves of guilt in their chest. Your name whispers through their thoughts like a storm they can't escape. They look into the mirror and see a reflection that reminds them of your grace. A reflection that stings with every blink because they see the wound they left on someone who only offered love. Even strangers' faces now resemble your strength, and it unsettles them. Comment if you feel their silence finally cracking. They are being pulled apart by memories they tried to hide. One by one, the lies they stood on are collapsing, and every collapse shouts your name louder. There is no room left in their life untouched by the heaviness of what they did to you. They are breaking, and no one sees it, but you can feel it. A vibration in your spirit, a quiet confirmation that karma has entered the room they once filled with arrogance. The shame they carry cannot be hidden by designer clothes, good lighting, or fake laughter anymore. Their words may remain unspoken, but their soul is screaming. Every time they try to escape their mind, they are dragged back into the moment they chose pride over truth. They betrayed not only you, but the better version of themselves. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They wake up gasping, confused why your image was chasing them in dreams again. They blame exhaustion, but it's the universe correcting what they refuse to admit. They can no longer run from what their silence destroyed. Archangel Michael says, their silence was never power, it was fear disguised as pride. And now, that pride has eaten away their joy, turned their victories into ashes, and placed them in a prison of their own making. They once thought not apologizing meant winning, but they lost everything that truly matters. They lost peace, purity, and the ability to look in the mirror without tears touching the edge of their eyes. The weight of your name is dragging behind them like a chain of stone. They talk to others like they've moved on, but when alone, their thoughts are haunted by your kindness, your loyalty, and how they destroyed it in silence. Even their blessings now feel cursed, because they know you were part of what made them whole. Their spirit is no longer light. It is thick with regret, and your memory is the only thing that still breathes inside them. They remember everything they should have said and every moment they could have chosen you, but chose themselves. Type Amen to get blessing 114. They scroll through their phone late at night, almost dialing your number. But shame grips their hands like shackles, reminding them that you don't deserve a half-hearted return. They want to speak, but fear the sound of their own truth. They thought ignoring you would bring them control. Instead, it brought them torment. They cannot control the dreams you visit, the moments your name appears, or the sorrow flooding them out of nowhere. You live in the parts of them that still ache for goodness. Because despite what they made you feel, they know you were a gift. They abandoned that gift and now must live with the pain of never unwrapping what could have healed them. People close to them now feel the shift. They ask if something is wrong, why there's a hollow behind their smile. But how do you explain spiritual punishment when the crime was silence? Type Amen to get blessing 741. Their energy is heavy, and they carry it into every room like a shadow that won't shrink. Some nights, they cry without reason, not even understanding that it's your absence their soul is grieving. Their apology is no longer a choice, it's a burning need their heart can no longer suppress. Archangel Michael says, "The heavens are moving on your behalf, and the scales are being rebalanced. You didn't have to expose their wrong, the universe is doing it for you, and it's unraveling them. They hear your name in songs, in conversations, even in places they never expected. Because once you love someone with a clean heart, your spirit stains their soul forever. And now your presence is tattooed on the inside of their mind. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. They thought you had no power left, but your silence is louder than their excuses. And the divine has stepped in to remind them that you were not forgotten, you were being protected. They search for your face in crowds. They wait for a sign that they're still allowed to come back. But every road now seems guarded by the same angel they ignored. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Their appetite is lost. Food tastes bland, laughter feels forced, and every distraction fades too fast. Nothing fills the space you once occupied. They write apology messages and delete them. They fear your reaction, but more than that, they fear your strength. Because while they crumbled, you rose. Your healing didn't require their apology, but their healing now depends on giving it. Until they do, peace will remain a stranger in their home. Their friends notice how distant they've become, but no one knows the truth. Only they and the angels see the storm inside. Comment if you felt their energy crawling back lately. They wonder if it's too late. They wonder if you've already moved on. But what eats them the most is knowing they don't deserve a yes from you anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 224. They are waking up to spiritual truths they ignored when they hurt you. Lessons wrapped in loneliness are now being delivered to their door daily. There's no escaping the reality that they mistreated someone heaven sent. Their plans are falling apart. Their paths are blocked, not by coincidence, but by correction. The universe is requiring balance, and your pain was placed on the scales. The delay in their life is connected to the tears you shed. They are remembering moments you forgot, smiles you gave freely, prayers you whispered for them, support you offered without asking anything in return. Now they miss it, but they cannot ask for it again. Your name is weightier now, sacred, and the one who once dropped it in silence now carries it like a boulder. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Archangel Michael says, "You are not meant to carry their burden, only to witness the truth rising. The same way you were left unheard, they are now unheard in their cries for peace. This is not revenge. This is rebalancing. They're being shown what they didn't see in you. The love, the loyalty, the light. And now they see it in flashes too late. They scroll through old photos hoping to feel less pain. But those images cut deeper now, because they reflect not just what was, but what could have been. And regret doesn't let them breathe easy. They keep waiting for life to distract them from your memory. But instead, your memory is what breaks the silence in every distraction. You've become a haunting melody that won't stop replaying. Type Amen to get blessing 909. They may not say it aloud, but they pray for a moment with you again, just to tell you they were wrong. But the divine is guarding you now. The gates they walked out of no longer open the same way. They must knock with more than words. This is their test now. To sit with the pain they caused. To hold the silence they once made you carry. They told themselves you'd forget, but every sign around them says otherwise. Even nature reflects the truth. They can't outrun spiritual consequences. The person who owes you an apology has become their own prisoner, and the bars are made of denial, pride, and your name. Type Amen to get blessing 505. They believed ignoring you was protection. But now they understand it was destruction of themselves. They rehearse apologies in their head daily, but can't bear the shame of actually speaking them. So instead, they suffer in silence. Their joy has rusted, their soul is not light, and their heart calls your name in its darkest hours. Archangel Michael says, don't let their suffering fool you into reopening what heaven has closed. Sometimes, the apology is not for you to hear, it's for them to carry until they grow from it. You were always the light, and now, the one who hurt you must walk through their darkness alone. Type Amen to get blessing 313. They thought they could erase your memory. Instead, they carved it deeper into themselves. Now they walk with a shadow of what could have been. Their inner voice screams louder than ever, and you are the name on its lips. Forgiveness may eventually come, but forgetting? That will never happen. The apology they owe you is their curse, and until it's spoken, every door they open will echo the sound of the one they shut on you. They sit in silence longer now. Every quiet hour is filled with a war between pride and guilt. But guilt is winning, slowly, ruthlessly. Their soul cannot outrun the moment they chose to hurt you over healing you. The memory isn't fading, it's sharpening. Each day paints the regret in clearer detail. Even the sky seems to cry with them on some days. Rain falls as a mirror of the emotions they tried to bury. The world around them seems colder because your warmth is gone. They hear songs that once reminded them of happiness, and now those same songs play like funeral. Hymns for the relationship they destroyed. Music doesn't heal them anymore, it haunts them. And the lyrics speak of a truth they never said out loud. Type Amen to get blessing 117. They watch others love freely and wonder how they ruined the love they had with you. Your loyalty was unmatched, your care constant. But they chose silence, ego, and distance. Now they live in a cage of, what if? What if they had told the truth? What if they had protected you instead of their pride? What if they had been brave enough to say, I'm sorry, when it mattered? They keep your name hidden from conversations, but it lives on the edge of their tongue every day. Even when they laugh with others, their mind races back to your laugh, because that laugh was honest, unfiltered, and full of grace. The world hasn't offered them another you. They've searched in places and people, but nothing compares. The light you gave them is a light they now desperately miss. They speak about you in dreams. sometimes apologizing, sometimes weeping, sometimes just calling out your name. And they wake up with their heart racing, knowing you're no longer within reach. Type Amen to get blessing 660. Archangel Michael says, what they feel now is not a punishment, it's divine correction. It's a sacred reminder that souls like yours are not to be mishandled. Their tears cannot cleanse the pain they caused, but they are a start. They wish they could turn back time, not to change the ending, but to fix the middle, to make the choice they were too afraid to make. The choice to honor you with truth, not betrayal. They carry shame in their posture. Shoulders hunched, eyes no longer steady. Their body remembers the guilt, even if their words don't speak it yet. They hear your voice in unexpected moments. In laughter from strangers, in words on a billboard, in phrases on the television. Your voice left an imprint, and now it follows them. They cannot escape the fact that their peace ran off with your name. That the blessing they lost wasn't money, fame, or comfort, it was you. And no substitute has healed the space you once filled. Comment if your spirit has felt this shift in the air around you. Type Amen to get blessing 929. Their health is beginning to reflect their internal decay. Sleep escapes them. Energy depletes faster. And doctors don't know what's wrong. But you do. You understand that spiritual misalignment manifests in the body. They are reaping what they sowed when they hurt a soul that only meant well. They look older than their years now. Their glow has dimmed, because the pain of not making peace with you has stolen the light from their face. They avoid places that remind them of you. But the universe keeps placing signs in their path. Your initials, your favorite color, the time you used to text. They can't run from divine justice. Your energy lingers in the air like a scent they can't forget. It hits them strongest at night, when no one else is watching, when the mask slips off. Type Amen to get blessing 440. Archangel Michael says, they are being taught through silence. The same way they taught you. But your silence was survival. Theirs is suffering. Their ego cost them everything real. And now they are surrounded by plastic friendships, fake smiles, and shallow love. It's a prison made of mirrors. And each one reflects your memory back at them. They want to cry to someone about you, but they know they can't, because to speak of you means to confess the role they played in losing you. They remember how you stood by them when no one else would, how you believed in them when even they didn't believe in themselves, and they traded that for comfort and cowardice. Your strength intimidates them now. You've grown, you've healed, and even though they crumble, they see you rising. And that rise burns deeper than any fire they've ever felt. Type Amen to get blessing 373. They play your old voice notes just to hear the tone of someone who truly cared. They reread old messages trying to make sense of why they let go. But their logic collapses every time. Their soul aches for the peace you used to bring, the way your presence stabilized their storm, the way your love felt like home. Now their days are filled with emptiness. Smiles feel forced. Success feels incomplete, because you're not there to share it. They can't even celebrate victories properly, because guilt lives in the background of every happy moment. And in their heart, they know it's because they didn't do right by you. They pretend they're okay, but their heart knows otherwise. They would trade anything for one more moment with your forgiveness. Type Amen to get blessing 888. They go to spiritual readers now, desperate to understand why life feels off. But the answer is simple: they wounded a chosen one. And heaven does that. They ask the universe for clarity. But the universe keeps sending your memory, because the clarity they seek starts with admitting what they did. Archangel Michael says, your name will be the storm and the stillness for them until balance is restored. They won't know rest until they release the apology locked in their throat. And that release won't be easy. They look at others around you now, wondering who is lucky enough to be near your energy. And that thought burns them more than anything else. You didn't just walk away. You ascended. And now they feel miles beneath you spiritually, emotionally, and karmically. Type Amen to get blessing 999. Their devices bring up your memories when they least expect it. Old photos, song playlists, memories that pierce like arrows of truth. They envy those who still have access to your smile, because they lost it, not to fate, but to their choices. Your growth haunts them. Your confidence haunts them. Even your silence has more weight than their loudest excuse. They are learning now, painfully, that you never needed them. It was them who needed your light. And now they walk through shadows of their own making. They try to mimic your peace, copy your glow. But replicas never carry divine energy. They miss what was real, and you were the most real thing they ever had. Type Amen to get blessing 191. They have tried to replace you, but every replacement only reminds them of the original. No one else carries your energy. No one else reflects the kind of love that once felt like a sanctuary. Their relationships now are shaky, built on surface-level exchanges. But with you, there was depth. There was honesty. There was a spiritual connection they will never replicate. They thought your absence would be temporary, that they could forget and fill the space. But your absence turned permanent, and the space became a void that grows deeper each day. Now, even silence feels like your presence. They hear your name in conversations that don't concern you. The air changes when your memory walks into their thoughts. Type Amen to get blessing 444. They lost their appetite for joy. Smiles are shorter. Laughter feels foreign. It's not that life isn't giving them chances. It's that without your energy, the moments feel empty. They remember how you used to make the little things feel magical. A cup of tea. A walk under the stars. Just your words were enough to lift the weight off their chest. And now, they carry that weight alone. Their shoulders are hunched with the burden of not speaking the truth when it mattered. One apology could have changed everything. But the clock kept ticking. And every second without an apology has now become a punishment they cannot escape. They are haunted by their hesitation. People ask them what's changed, why they look tired, why they speak less. They don't answer. Because how do you explain being haunted by someone who only ever wanted to love you? Type Amen to get blessing 282. Archangel Michael says, divine justice is not always thunder and lightning. Sometimes, it is a quiet unraveling of the peace they tried to fake. And now, their soul is unraveling. They scroll through your old photos, wishing they had valued your presence more. Every smile in those photos feels like a slap of truth. They had it all, and they let it go. You didn't walk away out of pride. You walked away out of necessity, because staying would have meant dimming your own light to comfort someone who refused to grow. Now, they live in the silence they built. The same silence they used to punish you is now their constant companion, and it echoes louder than any words ever could. You were their blessing, and now, you're the lesson. A lesson that arrives with every sunrise and never lets them sleep through the night. Type Amen to get blessing 116. Their dreams have become battlegrounds. Places where your image walks freely, speaking all the words they should have said. And they wake up sweating, heart pounding, guilt screaming. Even the air feels heavy when your memory visits. It presses on their chest. It tugs on their spirit. It demands acknowledgement. They tried to silence your name, but now it's the loudest sound in their life. It breaks through their thoughts when they reworking, driving, even eating. There's no escape from a soul they betrayed. They thought the block button would end the story. But spiritual connection can't be blocked. And their spirit knows it failed you. They wonder if you, doing okay. They wonder if someone else has your heart now. And even though they act indifferent, the thought shreds them inside. Type Amen to get blessing 744. Archangel Michael says, your detachment is their deepest punishment. They expected rage, tears, or closure. But your elevation, your silence, and your peace say more than any words. Now they look for your energy in astrology, tarot, and signs from the universe, hoping to feel connected again, even if just for a second. But heaven is protecting you now. The door is no longer open. They waited too long. And now their apology would need to move mountains to even reach you spiritually. They regret not saying what needed to be said, not choosing you when they had the chance, not standing beside you when everyone else walked away. Their pride feels foolish now, because in protecting their ego, they sacrificed the one person who saw their soul. And that loss? It's unbearable. Type Amen to get blessing 909. They're losing friends too. The ones who encouraged them to stay silent are starting to disappear. Because the energy they carry is infected with remorse, and people feel it. They being isolated, not by people, but by the divine. Because they must sit with what they done. They must face the mirror that keeps showing your reflection. They thought forgetting you would be easy, but instead, remembering you has become involuntary. Your presence is written into their timeline, and that ink cannot be washed away. They walk past places that remind them of you, hoping to catch a glimpse. Not of your face, but of your peace, just to see if you still glowing. You are, and that glow slices through their soul like a silent scream, because the very thing they tried to diminish is now their biggest yearning. Type Amen to get blessing 303. They dream of apologizing, of breaking down and falling to their knees in front of you, of finally telling you the truth. But fear holds them back. Fear of rejection. Fear of looking weak. Fear that you've truly moved on. Their heart whispers your name before sleep. Their soul prays for forgiveness even if their mouth doesn't speak. And their tears carry the apology they never gave. Archangel Michael says, sometimes they must drown in the silence they created. They must choke on the words they refuse to say. They must sit in the ruins of their decisions. You were never the problem. Your love wasn't too much. It was their capacity that was too little. And now they feel that emptiness expanding. Their family notices. Their co-workers see it. Even strangers glance at them with concern. Because energy never lies, and their energy screams regret. Type Amen to get blessing 115 now. Every time they see someone being loved right, they think of you. Of how they could have given you that. Of how they chose distance over honesty. They see couples smiling and walking hand in hand, and it burns. Not because of envy, but because they realize they lost their chance at that with you. Your name is no longer a thought, it's a force. It lives in their chest. It pulses with their heartbeat. It fights to be acknowledged. They keep a photo of you in a private folder, one they never open in public. But when they're alone, they stare at it until the tears come, because it reminds them of what they can never have again. Comment if this message finds you in perfect divine timing. Type Amen to get blessing 227. They replay the moment they let you go over and over. 100 versions in their mind. But none of them bring peace. They thought detachment was strength. But now, they see that it was fear. And that fear cost them the greatest connection of their life. They even look different now. Older. More tired. Because guilt is aging them. It's draining their life force. Every time they see your name online or hear about you, their breath catches. And the pain returns like a tidal wave, drowning their calm. Archangel Michael says, your elevation is part of their awakening. Your glow is part of their regret. Your silence is part of their lesson. They may never tell you these words, but they feel them. Every day, every moment, in every breath. Type Amen to get blessing 721.